Hello everyone, Bryan here with your February update video for West Summerlin. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I've been pretty doom and gloom about this year's real estate market in Las Vegas. Overall, the Las Vegas market is showing signs of major cracks, which will certainly affect us in West Summerlin. But for now, we're actually looking much more resilient than the rest of the valley. Today, I'm going to go over the January sales versus January of last year. We'll check out the current inventory and then break it down. After that, we're going to cut to part of my Las Vegas update video where I discuss how the overall resale home sales and new home sales are looking very disturbing. Okay, first are the January sales. We only sold 17 homes this January compared to 19 last January. So basically a decline of 11%. But what's disturbing, however, is the fact that last January we had hardly any homes on the market to even purchase. So considering the inventory is more than double what we had back then, 17 home sales isn't exactly a great number. Next, we have the current inventory of resale homes. Right now, we've got 55 homes on the market. Last month, we had 56. So we're looking pretty steady as far as inventory goes. Now, of those 55 properties, 10 are short sales and 7 are foreclosures. Here's what's important about those numbers. 18% of our inventory are short sales. See, when the market slows down, this number tends to increase. The reason is actually pretty simple. If buyers have options, they tend to avoid short sales, since why wait 3 to 6 months just to find out if the short sale was approved when the same home across the street is readily available to close in, say, 30 days. Last month, we only had 3 short sales on the market. So moving from 3 short sales to 10 short sales in a month is actually a pretty fairly large increase. Okay, now we're going to cut away to the end of my Las Vegas market update video where I discuss a possible housing bubble forming due to the disturbing trend of record low sales in both the resale market and the new home market. Although we've been resilient, if the overall Vegas market tumbles and the media portrays the market as performing poorly, this will certainly affect buyers' perceptions in Summerlin as well as the entire valley. Just this month, I've started to see several homes lower their prices here. Some homes that were contracted at very high prices have fallen out of escrow and will soon see a sharp price decrease as well. So, without further ado, here is a big picture explanation of the housing market. Okay, now let's get to the real deal here. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I predicted the market would decline this year. For over 6 months, I've been telling sellers to cash out before it was too late. I've been telling buyers to simply hold on because the market would be more favorable this year. I told you that builders were going to get crushed in 2014 since new homes became just so overpriced. Essentially, I've been telling you, not so subtly, that the market is either going to adjust down this year or completely crash and burn by the end of it. Well, today, I've got some hard numbers that back up what I've been telling you for over 6 months. First, let's look at resale home sales. Before I go into great detail, let me explain what you're about to see. Last year, we sold 31,000 homes. The year before, in 2012, we sold 35,000 homes. So sales were actually down 11% last year. As you can see on the screen right now, you can visibly see that sales were dramatically down in the beginning and end of last year. Now, the beginning of the year could be easily blamed on the fact that we only had 3,400 homes on the market. Since there was no inventory, it makes sense that overall sales were down as well. But by the end of last year, sales were down dramatically again. But this time, you can't blame the supply. We had twice the inventory in the end of the year as we did in the beginning of the year. Now, check this out. Instead of a bar graph, here's a simple spreadsheet for you. You can see a trend start in October, which, going back to the inventory levels we discussed earlier, inventory plateaued in October. But look, sales were down as the inventory plateaued. 12% for October, 19% for November, and 21% for December. But here's the kicker. Look at last month. See it? We only sold 1,767 homes last month. We literally have about double the inventory that we had last January, and we're down 18%. Then remember that last January was down 24% from January of 2012. In other words, we're down 38% from January of 2012 when we were still like in a normal and healthy market. We've got plenty of inventory now and no demand apparently since the investors have left town. Now to make things worse, let's look at something you won't see anywhere else. Let's see how new home sales are going, since I predicted that new home sales would be crushed this year. Noble Title, product placement, was kind enough to supply me with data that reflects the amount of new home sales closings for each month. This data was further verified by Ticor Title as well. Last year, new home sales were up 12%, which is great. But look closely at what happened starting in September. Sales were down to 32%, then 44%, then 64%, then 79%. Literally, in the month of December, there was only 101 new homes sold. So let's wrap this up real quick. Right now, the market is actually starting to come out of its plateau period, and within a couple of months, I think you'll start to see some dips beginning to occur. Sellers can't blame the holidays soon on their home not selling. Sales are incredibly weak. We're well under 2,000 homes sold last month. Plus, the inventory is dropping, which means that sellers are not putting their homes on the market either. Now, because inventory is not rising, this is actually keeping the market somewhat stable. But this lack of demand is very concerning. Resale homes are starting to see resistance in pricing. And new home sales, well, we already covered that. They've grinded down to a halt. Already, buyers are starting to back out of some of these new homes. One, because they see less expensive alternatives, like right down the street. And two, because the new mortgage changes that just went into effect this year, it affects many of these buyers so that they no longer qualify for the homes that they actually went into contract this past summer. Most of the builders that I've looked into have 20 to even 40 homes standing inventory right now. Now, these numbers are going to start skyrocketing as time continues. We're already seeing new home price reductions, added upgrades for free, and bonuses to us realtors to help them sell their standing inventory. As the months move on, you'll start to see more buyer cancellations, more standing inventory, and eventually some pretty steep price reductions as these builders struggle to meet their numbers. When the media runs with the story that new home closings were down 80% from last year, it's going to get pretty interesting here. What can utterly destroy the market is this. New home sales are getting crushed, but homeowners aren't throwing their homes on the market like they were before. Now, if investors get scared of a housing bubble and they flush the toilet this year and start listing their properties for sale, we could have a situation where inventory does start to rise, prices decrease further, and if buyers become scared to purchase, if buyers get scared, then prices decrease. As they decrease, some buyers feel justified in their waiting and continue to wait for some imaginary bottom. This just perpetuates these price decreases. Bottom line here is the same thing that I've been saying for 6 months. If you're going to sell, you better dump it quick before the market tumbles any further and the media starts educating the people on how bad the market is actually performing now. If you're looking to purchase, just be patient. It's about to get much worse in a few months from now when all these price reductions actually start really gaining momentum. Now, thanks for watching. Please click here to subscribe and make it a fantastic February, everyone.